Hi, my name is Julie, and I'm going to show you how to do a very basic beginner Shrinkets Shrink plastic pair of earrings. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what's in your kit, and as you know, you're watching this, so you got the password and the link that was folded up in there. And then you're going to have a little pattern here. In case you don't want to create your own on the shrink plastic, you can copy the pattern that I'm going to be showing you. You will have pre-cuts. This is on the sanded and shiny shrink plastic. It's shiny on one side and sanded on the other. The sanded side of shrink plastics will take any kind of mediums that you would use on drawing paper, surfaces that have a tooth. This would be colored pencils, pastels, inks, stamps, markers. Then there's the shiny side, and this should only take mediums that you could write on glass because it's very shiny, so that's very limited. So that would be some markers that have more of an alcohol base and some inks. And if you go to my website, you'll see all sorts of free tutorials on doing these type of things, and the website is listed in your link to this class too. So that'll really help you know what you want to do. But in this beginner class, I'm going to use colored pencils, and you can use any kind of colored pencils that you want. But I like Prismacolor, so I'm going to be showcasing that. So let's back to what's in the kit. And then your kit's going to have a little bowl of findings, a little bag of findings. And if you're wondering what these are and you don't know anything about jewelry, these are head pins. And we're going to be using those to stack our design, and you're going to be learning basic wire wrapping so you can make future earrings. This is how you make this little wire wrapped loop right here. So these are the things that are going to be in your kit. Now the things for this class that you need to supply are colored pencils, and your kit has a blue range because that's just a very universal color. So I picked a navy blue here, and I'm going to go through the Prismacolor colors that these are. And this is indigo blue. This is light aqua. This is slate blue, and this is white. But any blues will work to go with the blue selection in here. And then we're going to be just starting, which I call the basic mold. And this is the white domed mold. And it makes a shape like this. Then we heat and shrink our shrink plastic with a heat gun. I recommend a 320 to 30 watt or an economy 300 watt. And they're just craft, they're called embossing guns or craft heat guns. This brand is Zap. And then you're going to need basic pliers. These are what any jewelry basic plier set would be. And you can get these just about anywhere online or craft stores and spend lots of money or very little money at all. You're going to need a round nose pair of pliers, and these are round. This is the nose, and these are round. This is for making that wire loop. These cutters will cut the wire, and these are called chain nose or straight nose, and they're for holding pieces. So that's your basic set. So if you've gotten into this, it's probably because if you bought this kit, it's probably because, and it's a beginner kit, it's either you don't know anything about jewelry and you want to get started and you want basic jewelry tools, is this basic set here. And a lot of times you'll find these sold in an actual set. So let's get started. And the first step, we're going to color. So we're going to start with coloring our beads with colored pencils. And I'm going to show you some techniques that I'm going to use. I'm going to use shading. This is taking the edge of my pencil and just lightly building up the color back and forth. And I can create an ombre effect. I like kind of a pencil that doesn't have a really sharp tip for this. And I can overlap, therefore creating the ombre effect. And I can also smear. And Prismacolor pencils smear better because they have some oils in them. Then this is contour line. It's like a calligraphy. This is a technique that you can use on things. Notice how I apply more pressure and lighter pressure. And then this is just using line work with a nice sharp tip. Okay, now we're drawing on the sanded side, and you can do any kind of pattern you want, but I'm gonna show you demo doing the pattern that I've created here on this, on the little piece that'll be in your kit. So I'm gonna start with nice line drawings on these shapes. They're called horse eyes. And you will be doing 2 of this for earrings. And so what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to shade in the interior of this. There. And then I'm coming out with these little lines. Gonna sharpen my pencil. Oops. And I'm going to do some shading here. And then just go out to nothing. Now, if you feel, meaning nothing, I'm just gradating, shading, so that I lighter and lighter pressure that there isn't any color down there. If this feels too difficult for you, skip this part. I just want to show it to you, to show you what I'm going to do next, which is smear this with my fingers. Therefore, that helps the shading. Okay? Then next, I'm coming in here with white dots. And I'm coming in here with the blue. Okay, there's my little piece. Now I'm gonna border this. And I'm going to use this color to border it. So I'm going to burnish off the tip of my pencil so that when I'm laying on its side, it has this nice wide mark. And I'm going to come around the edge with this. It's really hard to see my white dots, but they will show up when it shrinks down. Now, once again, if this feels intimidating to you, you don't have to do this border. I don't want you to do little chicken scratches around there. I want you to try to make it nice and substantial, so it looks like a highway around there and not an overgrown path. And there, so that's our little piece. And you can see when I put my hand up under there that the white shows. Next, I'm going to do our little top bead, and I'm going to outline it the same way, but I'm going to outline first, and I'm going to outline in a different color. So I'm going to outline this in the turquoise. Or in this case, it was called light aqua, I believe. And I'm going to come in here with, you can do it over the top of this if you feel more confident. To move my dots in a little bit because they're out to the perimeter. There. Now I have my 2 pieces done, and you need to do 2 more so that you have a pair of earrings. And I'm not going to do these on camera because it's just redundant, and you've seen the process. So next we're going to be shrinking. So to get ready to shrink, I've got my mold out here and I've got a heat gun. And I put the little pin in the mold here. And yes, mine is used. It's got some discoloration on it. And that can be washed with soap and water. Dish soap and water will take care of that. So let's talk about shrinking. We have a shiny side and we have a matte side. Whatever I place down, face down in the mold, like if the shiny side is touching the mold, I will have, when my bead is shrunk, I will have shiny on that surface. If I place frosted down, I will have frosted on the top of that dome. Okay? So depending on how you want to use your bead, if you're looking up at it cupped, if you're looking over it down here, this is frosted. If I'm looking inside, you know, it's shiny. There's a lot of variations that you can choose. For this video, I'm going to place shiny down, so I'm going to have a shiny bead for these earrings, but you can do whatever you want, and then I'm going to heat it. What I do is I'm going to turn my heat gun and show that you at the side, and I'm going to be about this far away. That's about at the top of the tip of the pin. And I'm circulating around in about this motion, and the bead will curl up and wiggle around like a shriveling leaf. It's supposed to do that. When it's stopped moving on its own accord, shrunk down and flattened out, then it's time to put the doming pin on. So let's start that. Whoops, I was going to put shiny down. So I'm showing you the technique. And there it's starting to shrink. And it's supposed to do that. I stay with it. I don't tease it and get scared and move the heat away. I stay with it. And I let it flatten back out on its own accord. And I use the pin and go down in it, and I hold it gently for the count of about 5 by thousands. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. You can use both sides. I prefer this side. There, and we've got this beautiful bead. I'm going to do that again so you can see, so that I get my pairs done. Oops. Wrong bead. That was a sample bead. It's this one right here. Shiny down. stopped moving on its own accord and it's flattened out. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. There, I have two beautiful little beads. Now I'm going to do the smaller ones, and I put shiny down on these, so I'm going to put frosted down. And these are smaller and they'll go faster. One 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. So now on a little bead like this, I have shiny on the inside. So if I wanted to design it like that, I would see shiny. If I wanted to design it like this, I would have textures happening. Seeing textures meaning I'll have a frosted bead on the surface and a shiny bead on the surface. One 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. There we go. We've got our two little pairs of earrings ready to go, beads for our earrings. And now we're going to go on to assembling. So we're ready to start stacking, and the way, I'm just going to give a brief talk about how I like to design a bead dangle. Using these type of components. A little quick drawing. I like to work like a Christmas tree ornament, having both the ends being small and working larger to the center. Here's an example. Small and then tapering to large in the center. So that's how I'm going to build this bead. And you can use these components any way you want, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to be designing the components in the kit. I'm going to start with the seed bead. I'm going to then add this half-domed crystal, and then the gold spacer bead, the faceted bead, large faceted bead, and then my large Shrinkets bead. Then I've got this rondelle, rhinestone rondelle. I'm going to add the lucite spacer, the gold filigree flower bead cap, the other Shrinkets bead, the blue bead nestled inside that, cap it off with a silver bead because we've got silver in there, and then taper it down, end it with a tiny little, the little spacer bead. The little seed bead. So we've got this sweet little earring situation happening here. So we're ready to start our wire wrap, and we have our stack, and I have chain nose pair of pliers, and I have my round nose pair of pliers, and I have wire cutters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this as right-handed. If you're left-handed, just do it the opposite of this. In my right hand, I'm going to firmly grasp the wire, and I'm going to give myself, got a little stick to show it right here, this little area right here. I'm going to give myself a little space there. It can be up to about 1/4 of an inch. And notice where I am on the round nose pliers. I'm about mid-range. And this tells me where my loop is. So I'm going to take I'm holding this very firmly, and I'm always grab your wire by the end. Don't choke it up here. I'm going to grab this wire, holding this very firmly so it doesn't slip. I'm going to bring that wire around and up and wrap it. I can lift this up and wrap it around the tail. It's okay if you have to pick it up and re-grasp it, but you just wanna keep wrapping it 2 or 3 times around. Then I'm gonna just quickly take it off for a second so you can see how that's lopsided. I'm gonna put it back on, and if I just pull it up like this, it'll straighten it out. Then I can take my wire cutters and carefully, whoops, Q-tip, and hold this so I don't take an eye out as it flies across the room, and just cut this snug up in there. And that's my wire wrap, and I want you to do that for both. Let's open this up and just slip it on to our earring. And that's how you do your wire wrap. So here we are, and we have both of our little earrings done, and they're really cute, and I hope you've had a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me.